Because we're both so damaged, we can't be with nobody else. We had to come back home.
Yeah, I'm the resident director. It's my job to be in everybody's business. And like I said before, hurry up.
Thank you to everybody who's been praying for me and saying good things and supporting me during this time in my life. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much.
What happened to Sinbad? Why did his life take such a sad turn? Sinbad was once a well-known actor, but things have changed dramatically for him. How did he go from being a beloved star to facing serious health problems?
My beautiful brother right here, Sinbad, the one, the only, the best, most incredible spirit, such a blessing.
What struggles did he go through in his personal life? Let's take a look at the heartbreaking journey of Sinbad's life and how it all ended in tragedy.
Born and raised in a place called Benton Harbor, Michigan. It's on the on the far west side. It's over going toward Chicago, man.
Sinbad was one of the most popular comedians in America in the 90s. He was known for his funny stories, loud shirts, and goofy persona. People loved going to his shows because they would laugh so hard they'd wipe tears from their eyes and hold their stomachs. A big part of Sinbad's appeal was that he worked clean, meaning his comedy was family-friendly. This made him a hit with all ages.
4 or 5 years old, and I was in bed, and I was hearing this cat talking on TV, and I was laughing. I'm 5 years old, 4 or 5 years old. I go out, it's Alan King, comedian.
Wow. Okay.
He's doing these mother-in-law jokes. I remember it like it was yesterday. And I told my dad, I want to be that guy.
Born David Atkins in Benton Harbor, Michigan. After high school, he went to the University of Denver on a basketball scholarship. He played for 2 seasons as a forward and had hopes of becoming a professional basketball player. But things didn't work out the way he had planned. Sinbad wasn't one of the coach's favorite players, and he became unhappy. Eventually, he left the university just weeks before graduating.
I had a great childhood as far as mother, father, and family.
That's what's up.
But it was rough for me trying to find my footing and trying to fit with people because I couldn't find my fit. I was always uncomfortable in the fit. So, I became like a later bloomer when I said.
In an interview, Sinbad shared some personal stories about his life, including his struggles with bullying, marriage, and even bankruptcy. He talked about how bullying used to be different when he was younger, especially compared to what kids face today. Sinbad said that when he was a kid, bullying was something you dealt with at school. You'd go home and it would be over. But nowadays, bullying doesn't stop after school. He reflected on how bullying affected him as a kid. Growing up, Sinbad was tall but very skinny, and that made him a target. Other kids would take his lunch money, turn him upside down, and throw him into his locker. He said he didn't want to fight back because he wasn't angry, but that all changed when he grew 6 inches in 1 year. After that, he started training in martial arts and wanted to be able to defend himself. Sinbad even joked about how, at one point, he wanted to take someone's eye out, just like a Bruce Lee movie. Sinbad then joined the Air Force with the goal of becoming a helicopter pilot. But because he didn't have a college degree, the best job he could get was as a boom operator. His time in the Air Force wasn't easy. Sinbad didn't always follow the rules. He would sometimes go AWOL, absent without leave, avoiding the military and even hoping they would throw him out. He spent time away from his base, sometimes heading to Georgia Tech to learn about computers, but he was always getting into trouble. Despite all this, Sinbad's natural talent for entertaining showed up in a surprising way.
Dude, I had so many dreams. ADHD is a great dreamer. We didn't know what ADHD was back then, but I think it fueled your dreams. It fueled your creativity. It's not such a negative thing as it is now.
In 1981, Sinbad decided to try out for a talent show on his Air Force base. He chose the name Sinbad after the legendary sailor from mythology. The name stuck, and Sinbad won several contests on base. One of his big moments came when he appeared on Star Search. He didn't win, but he competed 9 times and reached the finals, making a lasting impression on many people. Even though he didn't take home the prize, it helped get him noticed.
Regular at the Improv, and for comedy, that's big stuff. That's one of the top rooms in the country. That's where every comedian aspires to work and to do well, and I hear he does very well. You'll have a good time with him. Would you all welcome Sinbad?
In 1986, Sinbad landed a role as a recurring character on The Red Fox Show. Unfortunately, the show only lasted for 13 episodes before it was canceled. But this setback didn't stop Sinbad. He got another chance when he was cast as Coach Walter Oakes on A Different World. He started as a recurring character in the first season, but by season 2, he became a main character. This role helped him gain even more attention.
Hey, I'm the resident director. It's my job to be in everybody's business. And like I said before, hurry up.
While working on A Different World, Sinbad hosted Showtime at the Apollo from 1989 to 1991. At the same time, he began to release stand-up comedy specials on HBO. Between 1990 and 1998, he made 4-hour-long specials, which were very popular. Sinbad was everywhere in the 90s, hosting shows, performing stand-up, and becoming a top comedian. Sinbad didn't just shine on TV, he also found success in movies. Some of his most famous films include Necessary Roughness, House Guest, First Kid, Jingle All the Way, and Good Burger. These movies helped boost his career even more. In 1993, he got his own sitcom called The Sinbad Show on Fox. The show was about him playing a single father who adopts 2 children. One of the kids was played by a young Ray J. Sadly, the show was canceled after just 1 season. In the 2000s, Sinbad's career slowed down a bit. He still made a few guest appearances on shows like Moesha, Girlfriends, and Are We There Yet? But things weren't as busy as before. As the decade ended, we started seeing less and less of him. People began wondering why we stopped seeing Sinbad on TV and in movies. There are several reasons for this, and here's what happened.
The older you get, the less people you need in your life. You don't need, ain't nobody got 100 friends, MySpace and Facebook. Nobody got 100 friends. 2. You just need 2 people to check on you if they ain't seen you to see if you had a stroke. They come to your house and look through the window. That's all you need is 2 people.
In 2009, Sinbad found himself in serious financial trouble. He was listed as one of the 10 worst tax debtors in California, owing the state a huge $2.5 million in personal income tax. That's a lot of money for anyone. Just a few months later, in December 2009, he filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, which allowed him to try to get his finances back on track. Sinbad explained that his financial struggles were not about living a lavish lifestyle or overspending. Instead, they came from trying to manage a business. At the time, he had a company, and many members of his family worked for him. But things started to go downhill when the jobs stopped coming in. The shows and movies that he thought would keep him busy didn't happen. As the money stopped coming in, he had to make tough choices.
Dude, I was just 17 last week. It goes fast, man. Dude, it goes fast.
Sinbad started using money meant for one thing to cover other expenses, hoping things would get better. But the problem was that when you don't pay taxes on time, the government adds interest. And that interest kept piling up. Soon the interest was more than the original amount he owed, and Sinbad realized he would never be able to catch up. Luckily, Sinbad found a good tax lawyer who helped him make a deal to pay back what he owed. He learned that if you're in a situation like this, hiring a good business manager is key. It's important not to count on money you haven't earned yet. Sinbad also shared how hard it was for him emotionally. At one point, he was invited to an award show, but when he got there, he overheard people saying things like, "Look at Sinbad trying to stay relevant. Why is he here?" That hurt him deeply. He left the event feeling like people no longer saw him for his talents, but only as someone who was struggling. Sinbad says that when you go from a regular life to becoming a celebrity, you don't always understand how taxes and money work. He was shocked when he got a tax bill for $8.5 million. It was a huge amount, but Sinbad didn't let it break him. He had seen other people in Hollywood file for bankruptcy and start fresh by opening new businesses, and he decided to do the same. For Sinbad, bankruptcy wasn't about giving up, but about saving himself. He understands that sometimes you have to do what's best for your future. While many people look down on bankruptcy, he's not ashamed. He's done a lot for others in his life and helped many people, but he admits that he didn't always take care of himself. Now he knows that in order to help others, you have to take care of yourself first.
Thank you to everybody who's been praying for me and saying good things and supporting me during this time in my life. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much.
Now, Sinbad's recent health issues are far from his first ones, and the comedian has plenty of hospital experience from at least major surgeries before his 2020 stroke. In 2010, he had a knee replacement surgery. In 2015, he revealed that he had undergone a large back surgery operation where two of his spinal vertebrae were fused together. It appears that this didn't entirely fix his back issues, as he posted about back pain on Twitter in 2020. In October 2020, comedian Sinbad had a life-changing health scare. He suffered a stroke caused by a blood clot that traveled from his heart to his brain. His family recently shared a photo of him doing physical therapy as he works hard to relearn how to walk. They also gave an update on his health and the struggles he's been through since then. When Sinbad first had the stroke, he was rushed to the hospital. Doctors performed a surgery called a thrombectomy to remove the clot and get blood flowing to his brain again. After the operation, Sinbad was weak but able to move and talk. His family said the doctors were hopeful about his recovery, but the next day, another blood clot formed and he needed a second thrombectomy. While the surgery was successful, it was harder on Sinbad than the first one. Things became even more challenging after that. Sinbad's brain started to swell, which can be very dangerous. Doctors had to do another surgery called a craniotomy to relieve the pressure. During this procedure, they found bleeding in his brain, so they had to act fast. He was moved to a special unit for very sick patients, put into a coma, and placed on a ventilator to help him breathe. Sinbad's family said this was one of the hardest times they've ever faced. They felt heartbroken and unsure of what would happen next. Weeks passed before Sinbad opened his eyes, spoke, or moved. It was clear he had lost a lot. He couldn't move his left side or even hold his head up. As time went on, his family realized how serious his condition was and how much work it would take for him to recover.
Expect to see more of me soon. And don't freak out if you turn around, I'm standing right behind you. Sinbad, I can't believe you're here.
Over the next few months, the Jingle All the Way star was slowly weaned off the ventilator, and around May 2021 began intensive physical, occupational, and speech therapy. It was there Sinbad started to make considerable progress toward recovery, they wrote. And last July, almost 9 months after his initial stroke, Sinbad finally came home. His family shared, he continues to receive therapy, fighting for every inch. His progress is nothing short of remarkable. Limbs that were said to be dead are coming alive, and he's taking the steps necessary to learn to walk again. In his own words, "I am not done. I will not stop fighting until I can walk across the stage again, and neither will we." His family added that the survival odds from this type of event are approximately 30%. Sinbad has already beaten the odds and has made significant progress beyond what anyone expected, but there are still miles to go. But it's also been an incredibly expensive road to recovery, with insurance not covering the full cost of his physical therapy, which is why the comedian's family set up a donation page for his medical expenses. All proceeds will go to the Adkins Trust to help provide for Sinbad's care and help him continue to fight this battle. They concluded their update by writing, "The family believes, without exception, Sinbad is here because of the multitude of prayers from all who know and love him. We are eternally grateful. Every outpouring of love and the memories of how he has touched all of you have not gone unheard, unseen, or unfelt. Thank you. You have lifted his spirits along the way and inspired the entire family." And Sinbad also shared a message of his own on the website, writing to his many supporters, "Thank God for everything he's given you, even if it's not everything you asked for. Thank God for family and hug the ones you love while you're still with them. We need each other to get through this journey. I can't wait to see you all again soon. As always, stay funky, stay prayed up."
Miracles happen.
You know, a lot of people don't believe in God, and that's their thing. My thing is this: God will never let me fall to that point, because I believe in helping other people.
My beautiful brother right here, Sinbad, the one, the only, the best, most incredible spirit. Such a blessing.
The comedian made a triumphant return to the stage after recovering. Fans got to see him perform at the Netflix Is a Joke Presents Sinbad tribute show at the YouTube Theater in Los Angeles. It was a big night for him, as he stepped onto the comedy stage for the first time in over 3 years. The event was hosted by rapper Dougie Fresh and included other comedians like Dion Cole. But the highlight of the night was when Sinbad himself took the stage. He didn't perform for long, but those who were there said he was sharp, funny, and full of life. Sinbad shared his joy with the audience, saying it felt like a miracle to be walking and performing again. The crowd cheered him on as he talked about his journey. He joked about using a walking staff, saying he feels lucky to even be moving around. He didn't shy away from talking about how hard things have been, sharing that the stroke left the left side of his body weak. With his signature humor, Sinbad reminded everyone to be careful about what they joke about. "I made jokes about having a stroke," he said, "and look what happened." But even through the struggles, Sinbad said he feels blessed, especially because of the love and support from his wife. He got emotional talking about her, saying she stuck by him through everything. "Marriage vows are real," he said, "for better or worse, in sickness and in health."
Marriage is work. Marriage is a career. It's not an adventure. You do more before 5 than most folks do all day. It's like the military. My wife and I, we're together about 6, 7 years. We're married. We divorced for 10, 11 years. Now we're back together, married 8 years.
Though his marriage hasn't always been a smooth sail, back then in an interview he opened up about his marriage. Sinbad explained that he and his wife first met when he was in the Air Force and she was in college. He said he knew she was special the moment he saw her. "I saw her legs in the bookstore and thought, that's the kind of girl you marry." From the start, she was someone he couldn't forget. They eventually got together, and she supported him even before he became famous. She was there when he performed on a stage for the very first time, proving her loyalty early on.
Because we're both so damaged, we can't be with nobody else. We had to come back home.
But life wasn't always smooth. After some years, the couple divorced. Sinbad admitted that during those years apart, he struggled to find someone who compared to her. He joked about meeting new people and realizing, this isn't like her. He even admitted that he wasn't ready to start over with someone new. "You can't just build a whole new family. It's too much work," he said with a laugh.
Once you've been married to each other, you're trained. I'm trained. I ain't got time to train nobody else. She ain't got time to train nobody else. Everybody's jacked up. Go back to when you had, "I thought you was crazy." Everybody crazy. I know you're crazy. I can deal with your crazy.
At some point, Sinbad realized he wasn't even interested in dating for romance anymore. He joked, "I'd get a girl's phone number just for practice, not for the or anything." He felt like dating had changed, especially with how some women expected big things, like money or gifts, in return. He said, "There's a new breed of groupie now. They don't want to just hang out. They want cars, houses, or to put you online if you don't help them." When it came to getting back with his wife, Sinbad explained it wasn't something they planned. During their separation, they lived close to each other for the sake of their kids. "I moved 15 minutes away because I wanted to be a good father. You're not single when you have kids, but you're not married either. You're in limbo." Over time, they went to games together and focused on the kids, which slowly helped rebuild their bond. His wife even remarried during their time apart, but Sinbad said he wasn't jealous. The only thing that bothered him was that her new husband was living in the house Sinbad had bought. "I wasn't jealous of the guy, but I thought, man, he's in my house and all." He laughed about how his daughter would remind the new husband, "It's not your house." After 10 years apart, Sinbad and his wife found their way back to each other. They've now been together again for over 11 years, and things are going well. Sinbad shared a piece of wisdom. Sometimes you need to lose something to truly appreciate it. His story showed that love, even with its challenges, can find its way back if it's real, and we are all thankful she got back to him. Because while he was sick, she stood strong by him. Sinbad also thanked his fans during his appearance on the Netflix special, and everyone who prayed for him during this tough time. The audience could feel his gratitude as he shared how much it meant to him. During his recovery, Sinbad stayed busy and focused on giving back. He joined the cast of A Different World on an HBCU college tour, visiting historically Black colleges and universities. He talked to students about education, empowerment, and the legacy of the beloved TV show. Sinbad, who played Coach Walter Oakes on the series, even surprised students during a virtual visit to Morehouse College. He called the experience beautiful, especially seeing how much younger generations still appreciate his work.
My beautiful brother right here, Sinbad, the one, the only, the best, most incredible spirit, such a blessing.
Looking at his legacy, Sinbad can be called a man who never gives up, no matter what challenges he faces. In the early 1990s, he starred in The Sinbad Show, but it only lasted one season, as earlier mentioned. Even though the show didn't become a hit, Sinbad stayed positive. His hard work earned him a nomination for Favorite TV Actor at the 1995 Kids' Choice Awards. This shows how much fans loved him, even when the odds weren't in his favor. Sinbad's big breakthrough came in 1991 when he recorded his first comedy special for HBO called Sinbad, Brain Damaged. This was a huge deal because, back then, getting a spot on HBO meant you were a top comedian. The special was filmed in front of a cheering crowd at Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. Sinbad's jokes connected with people in a way that felt timeless. His charm and humor made him a household name and showed the world he wasn't just funny, he was unforgettable. After Brain Damage, Sinbad didn't slow down. He kept teaming up with HBO, creating hit after hit. In 1993, he recorded another special, Afros and Bell Bottoms, at Madison Square Garden in New York City. The performance was so good it won an NAACP Image Award for Outstanding Variety Special. A year later, he released Sinbad, Son of a Preacher Man, proving he wasn't just a one-hit wonder. Every special brought him more fame and fans, showing he was one of the best in the business. Sinbad also appeared in TV shows and movies during the 1990s, but one story about him became a strange mystery. Many people believe Sinbad starred in a movie called Shazam, where he played a genie. But here's the twist, there's no such movie. Even Sinbad's kids have spoken out, saying it never happened. This mix-up is part of something called the Mandela effect. This happens when lots of people remember something that didn't actually happen. In Sinbad's case, people might have confused him with Shaquille O'Neal, who played a genie in the movie Kazam. Instead of being upset about the confusion, Sinbad made a joke out of it. He worked with College Humor to create a fake trailer for the Lost Shazam movie as an April Fool's Day prank. It was a hilarious way to turn a misunderstanding into something fun. At 67 years old, Sinbad is still inspiring people with his humor and resilience. He reminds us that miracles do happen and that staying strong and helping others can make all the difference. It's great to see Sinbad back on the stage, making us laugh once again. Welcome back, Sinbad.